Okay, so this is like our video to show you how to put together a Minecraft server. The version that we're going to be working with is 1.7.4, which at
Yep.
the current recording time is the latest version. First things first is obviously make sure that your Minecraft is downloaded, so you have
That's
the
probably
game.
a good idea.
That's a good point. The second kind of point is to head to minecraft.net /download. Or is that a backslash? No idea. One of those.
Slash.
A slash going in the right direction. Download. You can download the Minecraft game from there. You can also download the server. The one version I work with is .exe. If you're running on a Mac or another operating system like a Linux or something, you need to be running the .jar, which I believe
I run
works.
the .jar anyway.
It works in exactly the same way, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's just a Java
It's pretty
file.
much the same thing. Yeah, you just have a better option of controlling stuff that you put in it.
Yeah. And basically what that will give you, what I do is I make a folder called Minecraft Server, and in there I put the server file that you download, which will be this .exe here. When you first download it, you will just have that file, so put that file in the folder, you double click it, and it will load up the server. It used to give you a log of information telling you what the hell was going on. For some reason now it doesn't. I don't know why that is.
I think it's stored on the server thing on the Minecraft launcher.
It'll basically give you a new folder called logs, and in there will be all the information if you want to read that. I don't know why, but that is there if you want. And by default it will generate like a world folder, which will be your first world. If you're
Which you can change at any point in time.
True, if you're downloading custom maps, put that folder in there. Most custom maps will have a folder. For instance, we've got 241 custom map downloaded in here. When you open it up, you want in the main folder, the next point after the 241 folder to have your level.dat files in there. After you've run the server for the first time, you have all these extra folders like banned IPs, banned players, which you can just put in people's names if you want to ban them from your server. Ops is like if you want to make people allowed to make text changes and stuff, you know, when you're
game mode changes
game
and
mode
flying
changes,
and all that stuff. Yeah,
you have to put their
Toggle
username in there
down
first.
yes.
The server
Otherwise
properties,
they'll get mad at you.
True. The server properties file will you can use something like Notepad or text software to edit, and you have all these different options to change your server. You can change different generations.
You can
if you change the level name. So if I change that to 241, that would then load that 241 folder. So if you want to have several different world files, you just change that to whatever you want. Say if I change that to MooTube, it would then generate a new folder in this system called MooTube, and that would be a completely new world.
Yep.
Server port by default is 25565. We'll go into what that means in a second. You can change the level seeds. Server IPs, you normally want to leave that blank. Sometimes you might have to put in your server IP if it's not working. You might have to Google that, but normally 10 times out of 10 for me, I always leave it blank. Max build height, if you want to for some reason make it a very short world build height, you can keep that down. Default is 256.
If you're going to be making a Minecraft server where people are going to be building in creative mode, it's always best to set that at the maximum you possibly can.
Yeah, because that obviously allows it all to generate the mountains and lots of lovely, pretty things like that.
Oh, yeah.
Spawn animals, you can change that to false to stop it from spawning animals, NPCs. You can change it to, make sure it's online mode if you want to make sure it's for multiplayer. You can change the difficulty, you can change PvP. At the moment that's set to false. Set that to true. I don't know why it was set to false.
Yay, now we can PvP on our server.
When you've done anything, make sure to save the file and that needs to be just as a server, exactly what it was. If you save it as a .txt, then it won't be right and it won't work. So you need to make sure to call it
via a different system.
Yeah, you need to make sure it's called file name server and save it as all files, and now keep it as a properties file.
Yeah.
If at any point you muck it up, obviously just delete it, rerun the server, it will regenerate the default for you, which is fine.
Yeah, one thing you want to do on custom maps as well is they'll always ask you to enable command blocks on, and it will usually give you, if you, like on the 241 server, or what is it, Banish that we're playing recently,
Yeah.
they had the text come up that you had to paste into the server properties to have command blocks on. If you don't have command blocks on, and you spawn into a world where it uses command blocks to teleport you here, there, and everywhere, or give you certain stuff, then the server isn't going to work. And if you find that you can't use it, that's probably your main problem.
Yeah, by default it should be set to true. It says here, enable command block true. You have to make sure if you want things to be turned on or off, it has to be either named true to be on or false to be off. And then obviously down the bottom...
That's also true for... Yeah.
Down the bottom it has message of the day, MOTD, so whatever you set that to would be come up as the message of the day to whoever is using your server.
Yep.
That's that. The next thing you need to look into is make sure that the correct ports are forwarded, and now this is the point that most times, 9 times out of 10, your server is going to not be working because of this reason. We very often have it where 1 week we'll be fine running the server, next week we load it up and it won't be working. And there are a number of reasons that it might be doing that, but I'll show you sort of how to check it. The internet provider I have is with Virgin Media. That's quite a popular one for the UK.
Boo.
Nathan is in Canada. I don't know what you're using.
Shockware.
Shockware, whatever that is.
Shockware is a internet service run for rural Alberta, and it provides satellite internet to places who can't get cable, which is why I live like 25 clicks out of town, yet I can still have internet.
Internet from space.
Internet from space. Yeah, boy, living in the future.
It's not working for some reason. But basically, for Virgin and most other ones, you will have an address. So my one here is 192.168.0.1, which is like my internal address. There is a website, I think it's portforwarding.net, where it will tell you, you'll be able to hunt down what your settings are for your hub, and be able to tell you pretty much what I'm going to show you now. So once you've signed in, you want to head to advanced settings, and within that there should be a section for port forwarding. Depending on what version of your hub you're using or what company you're with, it will be slightly different, but it's normally you type in whatever your internal IP address is and head to port forwarding. Within there, I've already got set up my Minecraft server and Starbound. Now, the number one point, well, bit of advice I can give is to make sure that the IP address that you put in, you basically have to put in a name as a new rule. So this could be whatever you like, doesn't matter, just something that you will remember exactly what it is. For Minecraft, your start port and end port need to be 25565, unless you're changing it for whatever reason. It can be whatever you want, but 25565 basically means that the only thing that it's going to be clashing with is Minecraft. Nothing else is going to be using that port. So you want to set
dedicated Minecraft port.
Yeah, exactly. You want to set your protocol to TCP and UDP, whatever that means. You can set it individually, but set it as both. Then you have the option for IP address. Now what this wants to be set to is whatever your internal, what your own computer address is, which mine is 0.9. So 0.1 is the hub itself, 0.9 is my computer. So that means that where I'm running the server from is allowing that port to be open. And most times I've had my server not be working is because I've set it to something like 0.5. My computer was 0.5, and then my IP address might have changed, and my hub has automatically changed my computer from 0.5 to 0.9 without me realizing. And so I have to then check what it is, go in and make sure it's to the right IP address to be working. And the way to check that is to be within security, I think.
You usually have to be within security to change any of your proxy settings anyway.
Yeah. I think it's device status? No. One of these is... bear with me.
I'm currently Googling definition of UCP.
Basically, one of these will be able to tell me, it's probably right in front of my face, be able to tell me what all of the connected devices are. Which I think is in here. Network status? No. Network log? No. Here's one of these.
It's there somewhere. I wouldn't have a clue what you're looking at because I don't run the same stuff as you do.
Yeah. Basically, somewhere in here is a thing that will tell me all of the devices that are connected and what they're called. So, like, my phone might be connected, my laptop will be connected, and they'll all be given different IP addresses, and it will be 192.168.0. something. And basically, you just have to find out whatever that point is.
I found out what a UCP means.
What does it mean?
It's a Universal Connection Program. Or, yeah, I think that's it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's what it means. Thank you, Google.
Oh, here we go. I found it. It's it was on my home screen and device connection status, and it basically tells me all of the things that connected. So, and then how long they've been connected for and the IP addresses. So it's got
wow, that's
my wired device is my computer at 192.168.0.9, and that has been connected. So that tells me that I'm using the exact one. So once you have put in the correct port, you can then add that rule and make sure it's enabled and ready to run, and then apply that, and that's all done. If it's not working, you can just delete it, check that you're using the right IP address for the computer you're using, and just retry it. Sometimes if it's not working, I've had it before where I've had to literally restart my router itself, and upon restarting it, it gave me a new IP address, and then I could then set that up again, and then it works. So if it's really not working, no matter what you're doing, just try these things, making sure your IP addresses are right, delete it, do it again. If that's still not working, restart your computer, restart the router, try it all again from scratch, and it will work as long as you're making sure that everything is as it should be. Then
work your way from the least problematic to the most problematic, which would be the router.
Exactly, yeah. And Google is always your friend. There's hundreds upon hundreds of these things telling you how to do it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
man's best friend is now Google.
Once you've done all that, get the server going. You can Google what is my IP address, and you'll get hundreds of results of telling you exactly what your IP address is. And then you can use that yourself to connect to your server. So make sure your server's running. Double click Minecraft, that'll load up. Make sure you're running the same version of the server to the same version that you're running the game. So we're running both 1.7.4
and 1.6.4 as well.
Yeah.
Not simultaneously, obviously.
Within multiplayer, we've got a few servers there. You want to add server, call it whatever you want. Put in your address that you've got through my IP address, and then you can just connect to that. And then obviously it's working, and Nathan should be able to connect to it as well now.
I am indeed logging in.
And there he is.
There we go. Oh, I'm black for some reason. Am I stuck in a tree or something?
No.
No, I'm good. I just glitched out. There we go. Yeah, we were busy exploring this earlier, just checking out the new 1.7.4 terrain gen, which is, by the way, awesome.
One thing to be aware of with Minecraft as well is that although the graphics are quite simple, it can be quite slow if you're recording as well as running a server. If you're streaming, you know, it can slow it down.
You can go like as low as like 10 frames per second or something stupid like that. If you're because of the random generation that Minecraft is doing nowadays, it's all like if you've not generated the chunks beforehand, it's got to generate them, and it's going to use up more processor speed, which is going to use up like tons of more space, and then it's just going to make everything kind of compress, and it's just going to look weird and distorted.
Yeah. So yeah, that's basically how you set up the Minecraft server. Yeah. If any sort of questions, feel free to post in the comments, and we'll keep an eye on it and help out where we can and give advice. But we've tried to sort of give as much advice from our experience of running a server. As I say, we very often, it's not an easy process. It is, we will randomly come on one week and it just won't be working, and we'd have to spend 2 hours or so just trying to pin down exactly what is the problem.
Yeah, I think last time was like 2.5 hours or something stupid like that.
Yeah. But normally you can get it going again. It is just a case of just making sure you delete everything that was set up before, and restarting your computer, your router, and re-adding everything in from scratch, and that normally will fix the problem.
Yeah, because I think last time we did it, we didn't pinpoint what it was. We were still trying to Google search it, but it was as simple as what Simon's been saying. It's just restart the stuff that's causing the problem.
Yeah. Okay, so the next video I believe we'll be looking at will be how to record your gameplay, and what the best softwares to use and how to deal with those files once you have them and whatnot. We'll be looking at Open Broadcast software and Fraps, I believe, which gives you a free option and a paid option to use.
Yep.
So we'll see you next time.
Okay, bye.